Walk into an average Japanese home for the first time and you'll find things that immediately feel different. A machine that blows hot air through bedding before sleep to kill dust mites. An electric pot that stays hot 24 hours a day, so tea, coffee, or instant noodles are just a button press away. And bed sheets specifically designed to feel cold the second your skin touches them, made just to survive Japan's brutally humid summers. None of these are considered luxury or unusual in Japan. It's just what ordinary Japanese home life really looks like. Today, we're counting down 21 weird things every Japanese home has. Watch until the end because number 21, the Buddhist household altar, is the one thing that stops Western visitors completely in their tracks the first time they come across it. Number 1, the Futon drying machine. Western bedding gets washed periodically and hung to dry, and that's about the extent of the maintenance most people give it. The idea that the inside of a duvet or futon needs its own dedicated cleaning routine is not something that comes up. In Japan, it does. The futon drying machine is a handheld appliance with a large inflatable hose that inserts directly into the futon. Hot air is pumped through the entire interior of the bedding, raising the temperature high enough to kill dust mites, drive out moisture, and leave the futon dry and warm before you get into it. Brands like Panasonic and Iris Oyama sell these as standard household appliances, alongside vacuum cleaners and rice cookers. They're not a niche product for the hygiene obsessed. They're a normal purchase that most Japanese households make at some point. Most models also come with a shoe attachment that directs hot air inside footwear, drying out moisture and eliminating the bacteria that cause odor. One machine, two problems solved. Number 2. Personal chopstick sets. In a Western kitchen drawer, cutlery is shared. Forks, knives, and spoons belong to the household rather than to any specific person. You use whatever is clean, return it to the drawer, and nobody thinks twice about it. Japanese homes work differently. Every member of the household owns their own specific set of chopsticks, often distinguishable by color, pattern, or size, kept in a dedicated section of the kitchen drawer or in individual cases. Using someone else's personal chopsticks is considered genuinely inappropriate in the same way borrowing a toothbrush would be in the West. Children are given their own chopsticks from an early age, sized and weighted for small hands. Adults often have multiple sets for different occasions. It's a relationship with eating utensils that's entirely personal rather than communal, and it extends to other items too, with some households maintaining individual rice bowls and teacups as well. Western visitors find the concept genuinely foreign. In Japan, it's just Tuesday. Number 3. The Shinto household shrine. Most Western homes have a place for decoration, a shelf with photos, a mantle with ornaments, a wall with art. Japan has something else entirely. The kamidana is a small wooden Shinto shrine mounted high on a wall inside the home, containing a miniature torii gate, a sacred rope, and protective deity tablets. Every morning, family members place fresh offerings of water, salt, and rice at the base. The shrine faces the main entrance of the room and is positioned above eye level out of respect. It's not a decorative choice. It's a functional spiritual fixture that has been part of Japanese domestic life for centuries, continuing in many modern homes today alongside flat screens and rice cookers. Western visitors notice it immediately and rarely know what they're looking at. It's one of the first things that signals clearly that you're inside a home, operating around a set of daily rituals that most of the Western world simply doesn't have a domestic equivalent for. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Contact cool summer bedding. Japan's summers are genuinely brutal. The combination of high heat and intense humidity that settles over the country from June through September makes sleeping difficult in a way that a standard set of sheets simply cannot help with. Japan developed a solution in the form of contact cool bedding. The synthetic material is engineered at a fiber level to absorb body heat on contact, producing an immediate and noticeable cooling sensation the moment skin touches the fabric. It doesn't just feel cool at first, it consistently feels cooler than body temperature throughout the night. These sheets, pillowcases, and mattress pads become standard seasonal bedroom items across most Japanese households from late spring through summer. They're sold at every major home retailer and department store. Western visitors who encounter them for the first time are consistently surprised by how dramatically different they feel from ordinary bedding. It's a product category that doesn't really exist in most Western countries, solving a problem that most Western climates simply don't produce at the same intensity. Number 5. Remote-controlled ceiling lights. In Western homes, the relationship between a person and a light is simple. The switch is on the wall. You walk to it, you flip it, the light changes. That's the full extent of the interaction. Japanese ceiling light units come with a remote control as a standard feature. You adjust the brightness, change the color temperature from warm to cool white, set a gradual dimming timer, and switch them off from the sofa, the bed, or anywhere else in the room. This is not a smart home upgrade or a premium product feature. It's standard across Japanese ceiling lights from manufacturers including Panasonic, NEC, and Toshiba. The remote comes in the box. Western visitors staying in Japanese homes discover this usually by accident, reaching for a wall switch that does less than expected, and then finding a small remote on the bedside table that does everything. It's one of those ideas that seems completely obvious the moment you encounter it, and baffling that everywhere else still hasn't adopted it. Number 6. The always-on thermos pot. In most Western kitchens, hot water is produced on demand. You switch on the kettle, wait a few minutes, and pour. If you want another cup, you repeat the process. It's a minor inconvenience that everyone has simply accepted as the way hot water works at home. Japan doesn't accept it. The electric thermos pot sits permanently on the kitchen counter, plugged in and holding water at a precise set temperature around the clock. You press the dispenser once and hot water comes out immediately at whatever temperature you set. Some models offer multiple temperature settings for different types of tea or instant food. Brands like Tiger and Zojirushi have been making these as kitchen staples for decades. They're found in most Japanese kitchens as a matter of course. The kettle still exists in Japan. It just isn't considered the right tool for a home where hot drinks are wanted at any moment of the day or night without preparation. Number 7. Onsen bath tablets. Japan's hot spring culture runs deep. Traveling to natural hot springs has been part of Japanese life for centuries, and the specific experience of soaking in mineral-rich water that looks and feels different from ordinary bath water is something most Japanese people grew up with. The Onsen bath tablet brings that experience into the home bathroom. Tablets, powders, and carbonated capsules from brands including Bathclean and Cow dissolve into ordinary tap water and transform it into milky, colored, mineral-rich water that mimics the appearance and sensation of a natural hot spring. Different products replicate different regional hot springs, with specific mineral compositions and fragrances associated with famous bathing destinations across Japan. These are sold at every pharmacy, drugstore, and convenience store. They're a weekly purchase for many Japanese households rather than an occasional treat. Western visitors encountering a Japanese bathroom cabinet for the first time often find a selection of these tablets alongside the shampoo and have no idea what they are or what to do with them. Number 8. Kerosene space heaters. The first reaction most Western visitors have when they see a kerosene space heater operating inside a Japanese living room is concern. There's an open fuel appliance burning petroleum inside an enclosed space, and everyone around it is completely relaxed about it. In Japan, this is entirely normal. Kerosene fan heaters from brands including Dainichi, Toyotomi, and Corona are standard home heating appliances, particularly in older buildings and in regions with cold winters where central heating was never installed. They're purchased at home improvement stores alongside washing machines and vacuum cleaners. Japanese homes that use them also keep a large red or blue kerosene storage container nearby, with a hand pump for transferring fuel from the container to the heater. The heaters produce significant warmth quickly and efficiently, which is why they've remained popular despite the availability of other options. Western visitors spend the first few minutes subtly checking where the windows are. Japanese residents have never once thought about it. Number 9. Earthquake cabinet latches. Open a kitchen cabinet in most Western homes and it swings freely on its hinges. Nothing holds it in place except gravity and the decision to close it. In an earthquake, every cabinet in the kitchen opens simultaneously and everything inside becomes a projectile. Japan has a specific product for this. Spring-loaded magnetic latches are fitted to kitchen and living room cabinet doors throughout Japanese homes. The mechanism holds the door firmly closed under normal use but opens with a firm pull. During seismic shaking, the latch keeps the door shut and the contents inside. These are sold at every Japanese home improvement store and at Daiso for under $1 per unit. They're fitted as a matter of routine rather than as a specific earthquake preparedness project. Western visitors often notice them while reaching for something in the kitchen, find the extra resistance slightly confusing, and then have the reason explained to them. At that point, the absence of them in every Western kitchen starts to feel like a very obvious oversight. Number 10. The multi-bin garbage system. Most Western kitchens have one bin. Some have two. The contents go out, a new bag goes in, and the process repeats indefinitely, with minimal thought required. A Japanese kitchen tells a very different story. Multiple separate bins are maintained for different waste categories, including burnables, non-burnables, plastics, aluminum cans, glass bottles, and cardboard. Each category is collected on a different designated day of the week, according to a strict municipal schedule. Put the wrong item in the wrong bin, and it may go uncollected entirely. The visual of a Japanese kitchen lined with 5 or 6 separate labeled bins is genuinely shocking to Western visitors who have spent their entire lives with a single general waste receptacle. Japanese residents navigate the system automatically after a short learning period. New arrivals to Japan typically spend their first weeks consulting the official guidance carefully before putting anything out. It's a level of domestic waste management discipline that most Western countries haven't come close to implementing at a household level. Number 11, the bathtub control panel. Western bathrooms have taps. You turn the hot one, turn the cold one, adjust until the temperature feels right, and run the water until the bath is full. The process involves judgment, waiting, and at least one correction when the temperature isn't quite right. Japanese bathtubs have a wall-mounted control panel. You set the exact temperature and fill depth using buttons and a digital display. Press start, and the bath fills itself to your precise specifications. A second panel in the kitchen mirrors all the same controls, so you can start the bath from another room and receive an alert when it's ready. The panel also has a reheat function that brings the water back up to temperature if it's cooled, and a keep warm mode that holds it there indefinitely. Toto, Panasonic, and Noritz produce these as standard components of the Japanese bathroom, rather than premium add-ons. Western visitors walk into the bathroom and find what looks like a miniature command center mounted on the wall next to the tub. Number 12, seasonal wind chimes. Japan has a specific relationship with seasons that extends into how homes are set up and what objects they contain at different times of year. Glass, cast iron, and ceramic wind chimes are hung near open windows and at entrances across Japanese homes every summer. Their sound, a soft, irregular ringing, produced by warm breezes moving through the home, is considered the defining sound of summer in Japan. The association between the sound of a wind chime and the feeling of summer runs deep enough that the Japanese government has included it on official lists of sounds that define the season. They disappear in autumn and reappear the following summer. They're sold in seasonal sections of home stores alongside mosquito coils and cooling products. Western visitors encounter them as decoration. Japanese residents experience them as a seasonal acoustic landmark that signals summer is properly underway. The difference in how the same object is understood says a lot about the culture it belongs to. Number 13, municipality garbage bags. In most countries, a garbage bag is a garbage bag. You buy a roll from the supermarket, use whichever size fits the bin, and that's the full extent of the decision involved. Japan ties the garbage bag itself to the waste management system. In most Japanese municipalities, residents are required to purchase officially designated garbage bags for each waste category. These bags are semi-transparent, printed with the municipality name, and come in specific colors corresponding to specific waste types. Using an unofficial bag or the wrong color for the wrong waste type means the collection service will leave the bag uncollected on the designated day. New residents moving to Japan are typically issued an instruction guide explaining the correct bags for their specific municipality, because the rules vary between districts. Western visitors find the concept of government-mandated branded garbage bags genuinely baffling. Japanese residents find the concept of using any bag and hoping for the best equally baffling, because it would mean the system couldn't function. Both reactions make complete sense given what each group grew up with. Number 14. Electric mosquito repellent plugins. Most Western approaches to mosquitoes involve reacting after they've already entered the room. You hear one, you hunt it, you deal with it. The occasional plug-in device exists, but isn't treated as a household essential. Japan treats indoor mosquito control as a continuous background system. Electric liquid vaporizer units from brands including Kincho and Fumakilla are plugged into wall outlets throughout the home from spring through autumn. They operate continuously and invisibly, dispersing a repellent that prevents mosquitoes from entering or operating effectively in the room. They're refilled when the liquid runs out, like replacing a cartridge, and the device itself stays in its outlet position for the entire season. Walking into a Japanese home in summer and looking at the lower sections of the walls, you'll typically find at least one of these units in every main room. Western visitors usually notice them for the first time when someone points them out. They've been there the entire visit. Number 15. Ultra bright white LED lighting. The lighting in a Japanese home hits differently the first time you experience it. Not in a subtle way, in a way that takes a moment to adjust to. Japanese homes strongly favor daylight and cool white LED lighting in color temperatures between 5,000 and 6,500 Kelvin. The result is a room lit at a brightness and whiteness that most Western visitors associate with offices, hospitals, or commercial spaces rather than a living room or bedroom. Western homes default to warm white lighting in the 2,700 to 3,000 Kelvin range, producing the amber ambient glow most people consider normal home lighting. In Japan, that preference runs the other way. Bright, white, and clear is associated with cleanliness, productivity, and a well-maintained home. Japanese ceiling lights allow users to switch between color temperatures using the remote, so some people do use warmer settings, but the default is decidedly bright. Western visitors accustomed to dim, warm ambient evenings find themselves squinting slightly and wondering if they've accidentally walked into a convenience store. Number 16. The always-on air purifier. Air purifiers in Western homes tend to be used by people with allergies or respiratory conditions, or purchased during poor air quality periods and then quietly forgotten in a corner. They're not typically considered a household essential on the level of a washing machine or refrigerator. In Japan, they are. Approximately 70% of Japanese households own an air purifier, and they run continuously rather than being switched on for specific occasions. Brands including Sharp's Plasma Cluster and Panasonic's Nano are purchased as standard home appliances and operate in living rooms and bedrooms around the clock. Japan's humid climate, dense urban environments, intense pollen seasons, and deep cultural awareness of hygiene have all contributed to making indoor air quality a daily domestic concern rather than an occasional one. Western visitors staying in a Japanese home typically notice the unit humming quietly in the corner after a few hours. It's been running since they arrived, and it'll keep running long after they leave. Number 17. Window condensation wipers. In cold months, windows in many homes develop condensation on the interior glass. In most Western households, this gets wiped away with a cloth or simply left to dry on its own, and that's the extent of the response. Japan has a dedicated tool for it. The window condensation wiper is a small squeegee with a collection chamber that draws condensation off the glass cleanly and holds the water inside the device until you empty it. Japanese home stores sell multiple versions in different sizes for different window dimensions. They're used as part of a regular winter morning routine in many Japanese households. The reason the tool is taken more seriously in Japan is the consequence of ignoring it. Japan's humid climate means persistent window condensation leads to mold forming along the frame and surrounding wall more quickly than in drier climates. The wiper removes the moisture before it becomes a problem. It's a small tool doing a specific job that most Western homes never thought to create a dedicated product for. Number 18. The manga bookshelf. Japanese homes across all demographics tend to contain books, specifically manga, and not just a few volumes tucked away somewhere. Entire bookshelves, sometimes entire walls of shelving, filled with series running to 30, 50, or 100 individual volumes collected in sequence. Japan published over 1.5 billion manga volumes in 2022 alone. The format is read by people of all ages, and the collections in private homes reflect that. Children's series sit alongside adult titles. Long-running series fill rows from floor to ceiling. Completed series are kept. New ones are added. For Western visitors used to seeing a handful of novels on a shelf, encountering a dedicated manga wall in an otherwise ordinary Japanese living room is one of those moments that completely reframes what normal home life looks like in a different culture. The collection isn't curated for display. It's functional reading material that accumulates over years the way Western book collections do, except the individual volumes are thinner, more numerous, and the series they belong to run considerably longer. Number 19. Anti-mold moisture absorbers. Japan's climate is intensely humid. The rainy season, the wet heat of summer, and the temperature swings of autumn create conditions where moisture accumulates inside homes in ways that cold, dry climates simply don't produce. Left unmanaged, that moisture leads to mold. Japanese homes respond with products specifically designed to absorb and contain moisture in the spaces where it builds up most. Moisture-absorbing containers with silica gel or calcium chloride crystals are placed inside wardrobes, under sinks, behind appliances, and in bathroom storage. When the crystals are saturated, the container is replaced. These products are standard purchases at every Japanese home store and are restocked seasonally. Multiple units throughout a single home is completely normal. Western visitors opening a Japanese wardrobe and finding several small containers quietly absorbing moisture from the air inside is a common moment of confusion. In a dry climate, it would be unnecessary. In Japan, skipping it and finding mold on your clothes 6 weeks later teaches the lesson quickly enough. Number 20. The emergency earthquake bag. Most Western households have a smoke detector and possibly a fire extinguisher. That's generally the extent of domestic emergency preparedness. Japanese homes go considerably further. The earthquake emergency bag recommended by the Japanese government and emergency services for all households is a pre-packed bag kept near the front door and ready to grab in the immediate aftermath of a major earthquake. Inside, several days of emergency food rations, bottled water, a hand crank radio, a torch, a first aid kit, an emergency blanket, copies of important documents, cash in small denominations, and a list of household emergency contacts. The bag is maintained and updated periodically. Expiry dates on food rations are checked. The contents reflect the specific needs of the household. Western visitors find it near the front door and need it explained to them. Japanese residents find the concept of not having one slightly alarming. It's a reflection of living in a country where a serious earthquake is not an unlikely scenario but a matter of when. Number 21. The Buddhist household altar. Nothing in a Japanese home stops a Western visitor quite like the butsudan. It's a lacquered wooden cabinet positioned in a dedicated spot in the home. Open the doors, and inside is a small Buddhist figure at the center, surrounded by memorial tablets bearing the names of deceased family members, a bell, an incense burner, candle holders, and small offerings of water and rice. Every morning, a family member opens the doors, lights incense, rings the bell, replaces the offerings, and spends a moment in quiet acknowledgement of the people who are no longer there. The Butsudan is the spiritual center of the Japanese household. It's where the living and the dead share the same domestic space, maintained daily through a routine so embedded in Japanese home life that it happens automatically alongside making breakfast and getting ready for. Western homes have photographs of the people they've lost. Japanese homes have a dedicated altar where daily acknowledgement of them is completely normal. That difference, once you understand it, says everything about what a home is really for. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more weird things.